So you got it going there?
Yep,
Recording?
says it's recording.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, we're on?
Yep.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday, January 14th, 2026 Public Building Commission regular meeting. If everybody could please stand and join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Find out your phone number.
Okay, so the meeting was called to order at 0700 at 7 o'clock PM tonight. We don't have any public input.
Unless that, I don't know if that
Oh,
person's
so
public.
who's the phone number? You
Oh.
can let us know.
2139 is Tyler.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Tyler, okay.
Sorry,
Thanks.
guys, I'm in the car.
Oh,
No
fun.
worries.
Drive carefully.
Mystery guest, sign in, please, right?
So,
Okay, there's no correspondence. We were asked by the Board of Selectmen, Dan Carter, to read a FOIA statement, that's Freedom of Information Act statement. And I have a cold right now, so I asked Tom if he could read the statement. I gave a copy out to everyone. Do you have one also, Kathy?
I do.
Yes, okay.
Okay, so this statement's going to be read once a year, but we may make mention of it at the beginning of every meeting, just as an aside to, business maybe. So to all elected and appointed boards and commissions, this is the Freedom of Information meeting policy. While a meeting is in session, the following protocols should be followed. Personal devices should not be used to communicate through any means, including text message, email, instant message, social media post, or conversation. An exception will be made if the device is being used as part of the meeting session, i.e. a member is participating in the meeting via phone conference. If there is a need to communicate regarding personal business during the meeting, the member should excuse himself or herself from the meeting and exit the meeting room, or request the chair to move for meeting recess. Number two, any conversations by members or questions should be addressed to and through the chair. Talking, asking another member a question, or whispering any comments to another member should not take place. At public meetings, the public generally expects that the business being conducted is public business. Pursuant to the Freedom of Information Act, Connecticut General Statute 1-200, as amended, FOI Act, the public has a right to know what public officials say at public meetings on topics related to the public's business, unless such statements are made during a proper executive session or are otherwise exempt from disclosure under the FOI Act. Failure to adhere to the business of the meeting and or the aforementioned protocols could subject public officials to a FOIA request requiring the disclosure of information that may be sensitive or inappropriate for public knowledge. In addition, a subsequent proceeding could be commenced with the FOIA Commission, which may result in a significant expenditure of time and resources, a fine, board or commission actions being set aside, etc. Thank you, and please keep the above in mind at all times while you are participating in a board or commission meeting. Daniel E. Carter, First Appointment.
thanks, Tom.
Okay, thank you, Tom.
So can I just say, Derek, so this is very important because our meetings are run Robert's rules, according to Robert's rules, FOIA, town charter, town code. And the FOIA sometimes is not always easy to, it's pretty simple, but at the same time, because it's public business and our meetings are always public, what we talk about has to be always made public. And what I found really helpful was when shortly after I was appointed years ago. So every couple of years after there's been like a lot of people appointed or elected, the town will have someone from the FOIA commission come workshop. They do one during the day and one in the evening, so people can come. And it was very helpful to know all that stuff so that, you know, it's like we talk about having to have, a certain notice period before a special meeting, like we were talking about having a special meeting a couple weeks ago. That's all freedom of information. You can't pop a meeting up without the public knowing about it. So having those workshops, and if you find that there's going to be one, I would, you know, try to, sometimes now it's easier because they'll do them online. It helps understand all the stuff and how it has to happen. So it's a good thing to know about.
I think I'll ask if there's going to be a
Yeah.
workshop, and I wrote that down, so,
Yeah, you could check in with Dan and see if there's a plan to do one.
okay.
And then the other thing, the executive session thing is really important. You know, in the past, sometimes we'd be getting into some difficult discussion about something and someone would say, let's go into executive session, and you can't. It has to be anticipated, and you actually have to have it on the agenda and say anticipated executive session. And there are only certain things you can talk about in executive session, which are usually contract negotiations, personnel issues, which we don't have, but things like that. So can't fall back on executive session because you don't want to talk about something in front of the public.
Well, thank you for that workshop, mini workshop.
Yeah, mini workshop. There's a lot more information, but, and it's getting even more interesting with so much electronic stuff, email, texting, all that.
So the only thing, like I said, you know, we're looking at Dave's computer right now. Sometimes I pull up the invoices on my phone. I guess as long as you're doing that and state that, or what's the,
Well, right, if you're using your device,
yeah, as like
whether
a
it's a
tool.
phone or, you know, a little Chromebook or your laptop. I used to bring my laptop so that I could put the invoices up on the screen share. So if you're doing all that, that's fine. But if you're texting me and
Yeah, no, I
saying,
understand.
don't vote on that or something
no,
like
I
that.
totally understand.
Yeah. Or if you have to take a call because, suddenly you get, it's my family, I gotta
Yeah,
go.
just excuse
out in the
yourself, yeah,
hallway,
or
yeah.
recess or something.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is the approval of the meeting minutes from the regular meeting of December 10th, 2025. That was sent down by Kathy. Any comments or additions to that? Okay, I make a motion that we approve the regular meeting minutes of December 10th, 2025.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, no opposed. All right, thank you.
Actually, Chris has to abstain.
Right, yeah, he can.
Yes.
Today he can't. Okay. All right, under the new business, once again, I was thinking of just to try to assign a project list to all the members of the commission here. However, that has changed a little bit. Dave Olson has resigned last week, and we have two new members. One of them is here tonight, Christopher Moustakis.
Yep.
Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Moustakis, yes.
Okay. And welcome, Christopher, and we'll try to bring you on board. There was another member who I spoke to today, Stanley Weston. He was appointed, however, according to the town clerk, he has not been sworn in yet, and he has not gotten a letter or any official notification that he was appointed yet. So when I spoke to him today, he was going to try to make tonight's meeting as an observer. I don't see him right now. So I just want to add one thing. So Dave Olson did resign last week, and I wrote to him and I copied Tom and Nancy, but I just wanted to read it. I said, Dave, we want to thank you for your years of volunteer service to the town of Bethel, and your dedication to seeing the various town projects were reviewed and completed for the benefit of all. We hope you and your family stay well and safe. So I just wanted to read that and thank Dave very much for his actions here. Okay, so we'll start old business. And First up is the Bethel High School HVAC upgrade project. And before we do any invoice or anything, Mark, do you want to brief us on,
So can I first?
yes, yes.
So all the people up there
Oh,
are
yes.
part of this HVAC project. So Dr. Carver, superintendent, you know. The phone number is Tyler Stevens, who's a,
Yep.
you know him too, yeah, and Jen.
Yep.
And then Mark Dupre is with STV, they're our owner's representative. And John is with Colorado.
Yeah.
They're the designer, engineers, they're the engineers for the project.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, so Mark, maybe you want to try to give us all a brief, and then Tyler maybe too.
And Mark, I think you're muted.
Yes, I was. Thank you. All right, just to start off, we've had a few challenges over the past couple of weeks with getting specific tasks on the roof done. But as of today, it has been reported to me, and I have not field verified it myself, that the roofing work, which was the key element missing and in coordination with the November application by Save More, is complete. I have been told that. Again, I have not seen it for myself, but if that is the case, then their application for payment for the month of October, which came out in November, would be fine to approve, in my opinion, and Cole Ronan can back me up on that. So that's one thing that's in consideration. The other issue is that the insulation for the ductwork on the roof is still not complete. Jason from Save More assures me that the insulating company will be there the rest of the week and anticipate completing the entire work at the end of by the end of this week. You know, today's Wednesdays, which means they only have 2 days. And I want to be optimistic and hope that they're good with that and that happens. So at the moment, that's where we are. Now, there are a couple other issues that have come up over this at the OAC meeting on Tuesday. And the biggest one is the change order that was approved back on December 10th for the wire tracing for the exhaust fans on the roof. And Mazzati, who is the subcontractor for Save More, did in fact start, and they were tracing as best they could and could not find a physical connection from the units on the roof to a dedicated panel at all. They could not find a connection. In other words, the power lines come in through the roof, go to a junction box, and don't go anywhere. So this may be a remnant of a past project that was never fully completed before it was ended. I'm not sure. Nobody's really sure. And John Mangelli, please jump in and add to this if you like. But we are working with Save More right now to try and figure out what is the best panel to put this work and complete the connections. And this may be an additional change order coming up next month. So that just means that we will not be complete with this project by the next time we meet. We will still have the electrical connections for the rooftop exhaust fans that'll need to be done.
Just to add to that, Mark,
Yep.
one intermediate step that Save More agreed to doing is while their guys are on site, for the fans that have no power to them, my concern was, well, what else is not connected? So they're going to check the ductwork runs, make sure that wasn't ripped out or not completed as well. The last thing I want to do is power those fans up just to find out they're not connected to the bathrooms that they're supposed to exhaust, for example. So that Jason agreed that his guys will check that. It didn't seem to be that difficult for him and his guys to do. So that is the intermediate step first to get that feedback from them. If they find open-ended ductwork, that's an additional problem. If they don't, if it's all ducted and the power was never completed, then the next step is, do we want to power these fans up? And where do we want to power them up from? At which point their electricians will recommend locations from existing panel boards in the vicinity of those fans. And us, Kohler Ronan, would review their circuiting, make sure it's code compliant, make sure it's sized appropriately, and we would then review the change order with the whole group for that work.
Are these new exhaust fans? Are they?
They are existing exhaust fans that were removed and replaced with new. So the new fans are installed.
So the existing ones may not have been running at some point either, or as Mark said, might have been disconnected during some other work and never reconnected.
Correct. Yeah, it seems like the existing fans were not active within God knows how many last number of years. Per the original design drawings, they were intended to serve pretty important spaces, typically bathrooms, certain electrical rooms for heat rejection, and potentially some storage rooms here and there, but mostly bathroom exhaust, which the school lacks right now.
So they were never hooked up and never worked, I guess, prior to this project.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that at all, if I could just interject. I think that when Kohler Ronan came out and did the original study, there were a lot of things that
Yeah.
were covered that as part of the renovation in is it 2010, John, or like around there, 2009, 10?
9. Yep.
Yeah, that somebody should go to jail for. Just that's Christine's opinion. But I'm not surprised at all that they found this.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, like, inspected, how was it signed off on? Like, if nothing was fine, do they have a CO on that? Like, I don't understand how it even works if the building wasn't functional.
Well, it's not in unsafe condition because there's just no power at all to the fans. So it's not like they found live wires cut and open in an unsafe condition. That didn't happen.
The workers,
It is not code compliant at the time. You can't have, unvented bathrooms and still get a C of O. So that whatever past renovations, like Dr. Carver said, is just criminal.
and again, so we never tested the fans before we took the old ones out. The assumption was they worked.
No, we did identify which ones were not running. There was notes on a lot of them that said motor no good. So we were mostly under the impression that, okay, this has failed at some point. It was never replaced. Let's get it back up and running under this project.
Not that they were actually wired to work, I guess.
Yeah, no, we didn't get to that granular of a level. I mean, we were above ceilings for a couple weeks. Like Dr. Carver said, we found about 50 or so items that we issued in a report before the design project. But getting to that level of tracing small MC cable was not part of our scope.
I think you have a copy of that report that Kohler Ronan originally done. I think it's in the Google Drive, but if not, I will double check and make sure it's there. It just illustrates a lot of things that weren't done correctly during the renovation.
Yeah, I think it is in the Google Drive.
Okay, so John, for this project then, if there's a change order by Sagamore for the electricians, is it to, number one, find out if there's any conductors that go either from some panels to near the new fans, and or do they have to run new power cables, and then do they potentially have to have new panels? Or do you think that who's going to do this evaluation? You, John, or is it going to be the electricians that will go to Sagamore and say, we got to do X, Y, and Z?
The best approach and most efficient approach is for Sagamore, really Mazzotti, because they've done the week or two worth of the legwork. It'd be foolish for us, Kohler Ronan, to kind of redo that same work.
Right.
So they know where the panels are. They know where spares are in what panels. As part of their change order, they should be doing that legwork to determine which panel should feed which fan. And part of that research that they're doing, I'm sure, will be included in the value of the change order work to actually wire it. but they will then issue a change order to perform the work, provide power to those fans. And that's the next discussion that us as a group would have to have. Is the value that they submit acceptable or not? We want to proceed at that time. That's the next steps.
Okay.
But that, but that's assuming these actually have ducted.
Right.
I was just gonna say that, yeah.
So if there's no,
That's gotta find out first.
right, if there's no ductwork connected, then yeah.
Then we're gonna need an evaluation and a change order from Save More as to what duct they need to run, where they come from and where they go to.
Right.
Is that the scope of this project though, really, at that point? I mean, if the project was based on these things working and being there originally, like,
The ultimate goal of the project is, or at least of this overall change order of these 10 fans is to get exhaust in bathrooms that didn't have exhaust for God, how many years now. It is code required to exhaust those public restrooms.
Yeah, it is part of our project scope, so we are expecting it to be a reimbursable expense.
Right.
okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Jen.
So then number one is they're gonna do a duct evaluation, and then number two, electrical, correct?
Well,
No, the electrical, they're saying.
Yes.
It's easier just to run new power.
Oh,
Both things have to be done at the same time while they get their heads above the ceiling. Both
Yeah.
things should be done, absolutely.
I'm just saying, we don't wanna, hook up a motor, a fan that
Yeah,
goes to no place.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Given what we have left in contingency though, if these were not ducted and we had to run all new ductwork, is this a major expense?
It's hard to answer that without Save More giving us that feedback. In the worst case scenario, yeah, it could be if all 6 fans are missing ductwork, 6 of the 10 fans are missing power, if they're also missing ductwork. Yeah, I mean, you're looking at
Like 6 figures?
10, yeah, on the low end 6 figures, high end 5 figures. Yeah,
So there were 10 fans and 6 didn't work. They didn't have,
correct.
they didn't have possible ductwork.
Mark, is that the final number? I know it bounced around from 4 to 6.
No, I believe it
My
is 6,
understanding is 6.
John. I do believe it's 6.
Yep.
It's 6 fans that did not work.
Okay, so we have some that work.
Yes.
Okay.
So since 2010, these things have never worked whenever the school was going to.
Right.
That is
Correct.
correct.
that's the assumption, yeah. So we're looking at what, $50,000 or 100 or?
It's tough to even guess probably, right? I mean, you don't know.
Well,
It's tough to guess. I mean, the best case scenario is the fans are all ducted and they are hooked up to the bathrooms. They need power, and depending how far away the nearest panels are, will have an impact on the overall cost. But I would assume it'd be in the 5-figure range for the electrical.
I guess was that not in the scope of the 2010 renovations?
Well,
No.
I
It was.
believe, John, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the power was we expected that the power was there and operational.
So it should have
Correct.
been part
I
of
mean-
that 2010.
Oh, it absolutely should have, but there were a lot of things that were supposed to happen that didn't happen.
Absolutely.
Right.
You're 100% right, Christine. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that. We just have to deal with what we have now already.
I know. Just because I'm out of the loop, how much do we have in the contingency right now?
About 99,000.
Okay.
Yes, $99,553.
And again, so all these fans have to be hooked up. So yeah.
6 of them.
Yeah, it's not like you can say, well, we can do 3. No, they all have to be hooked up to be. Yeah.
All right, so the electricians will do the electrical work evaluation. Is Save More and Joey and the guys gonna be doing the ductwork evaluations? I mean, does Save More have enough people to actually do the duct, along with everything else that they're doing, that they're not doing, or being very slow at doing? Will they have enough manpower to actually do this also?
Well,
That's
well,
fine.
the people that are behind are the insulators. So they're not going to be the ones checking the ductwork.
Okay,
Mark, I know you've talked with Jason a little bit more than I have, but during the meeting, during the OAC, it seemed like it was not a big deal for him. He said, yeah, my
No.
guys will check it while they're out there. That's
Yeah.
no problem. So I
Yeah.
don't expect a change order for investigating the ductwork. It seems like he's
No.
just gonna do it. They're gonna have ceilings open to complete piping insulation. So I think he feels like it's a good opportunity. His guys can get up there with little resistance and get that spot checking done, is the impression I got.
Now, even if he sees, not knowing what it all looks like, if he sees ducts connected, is there anything that you need to do, John, to make sure that things are sealed and there's a certain CFM and everything's working properly?
Yeah. Good question.
Um,
Go ahead, John.
I might need, I might have to, I don't have the drawings in front of me. Tom, it sounds like that was Tom. If we have the air balancing bought, then that would be captured then. There would be flow tests done at the grills at the bathrooms and the fans would be balanced. I need to check the design drawings for that. I am home right now. I just don't have those in front of me.
They would probably have to do that anyway, right? Even once they're working, right? Don't they have to balance? Yeah, if they're already connected, right?
But you could say, oh, here's this end and here's that end. There's nothing in the middle.
Yeah,
You want to make
well,
sure that thing.
yeah, that's the ductwork, yeah. But
And that
would-
will jump out at you during the balancing. Absolutely. If there's a piece of ductwork missing, obviously balancing won't work. So that'll be recognized right away. But during the OAC meeting, we specifically asked Jason to make sure that he's got Joey up there looking to see if the ducts are in fact in place and to let us know as soon as possible. The bigger issue there is, and for everyone's knowledge, Save More is actually a mechanical company. They are primarily an HVAC subcontractor. So they shouldn't have any problem acquiring ductwork if they need to. So that's just, I'm hoping that's not that we don't have any issues with that ductwork. But if we did, they're the guys I'd want fixing it because one, they're already in the building, and two, that's what they do. They're not a GC. They are primarily an HVAC contractor.
it'd just be a lot of work if they have to take tiles down again, take rooms apart again.
Yep. Yeah, there would be a lot more work. They'd have to.
Or if they've already done it for all.
So Mark, did I hear correctly at the OAC meeting that Joey's on vacation this week?
I believe he's back this week.
He
I
is,
believe he
okay,
was on vacation last week.
okay. So we might be able to get
Could be
eyes.
wrong. I could be wrong, Tom, but I think he said he's back this week.
Okay, so maybe we can get eyes on it by Tuesday's OAC meeting?
Well, I'm hoping maybe Friday I can get down there and stick my head above the ceiling as well and meet with Joey and see what's going on for sure. I like to see things myself and know what's going on.
Just to be
Mark Tyler here. One thing that came to my attention, I believe late yesterday afternoon, while Joey has been off site, the fill-in team indicated to my head custodian that he is now in charge and Joey's not on the project anymore. So
Oh,
we
really?
need to follow up with Save More and find out if that is accurate.
I will talk to Jason as soon as I can write an email. I will find out if that's true. I just need to know who's on site and what they're doing. I need to make sure there's somebody there in a lead role.
And just to be clear, and Mark, maybe I misunderstood what you were saying.
Sure.
The invoice that you're approving tonight is work that hasn't been field checked, or has it? Because that makes me very nervous, just given the history.
Between us and Kohler Ronan and working with Tyler as well to see where they are. What happened, Christine, was that they put in an October invoice, right? And it had roofing as 100%. It did not have insulation as 100%. And we discovered roofing was not 100%. So we've gone back and forth with Save More to get the roofing done. As I understand, as of 5 o'clock this evening, the roofing, which was down to protection on the sleepers, is in fact 100% complete. So if we approve their November application for payment, it's correct. Because that is the application for payment that they stated they were 100% done with the roof.
But we're saying that, assuming that what they're saying is actually occurred.
Right.
Correct? I
So
don't
is
know.
it correct that nobody's actually laid eyes on it yet?
Yeah, I just feel very uncomfortable given their history.
And that's ultimately up to you folks. I'm also hesitant to say, yeah, go ahead and approve it. I would like to ask if Tyler's guy can go up on the roof first thing in the morning tomorrow and let us know if the sleeper work is in fact done. Unfortunately, I can't get there tomorrow in the morning myself to see it, but
I will be inspecting it myself tomorrow. My intent is first thing. I can't promise it if other emergencies pop up, but that doesn't tell us for tonight,
yeah.
Like,
unfortunately.
contingent upon the work being done. Contingent upon Tyler verifying that it's completed.
That's a good solution.
The other solution, when we get to it, would be just omit that line item, approve the rest of the invoice minus that roofing amount until it's field verified.
Yeah, we could do that as well.
And if that's tomorrow, that's fine. We'll approve it at the next meeting.
How
That-
good you-
That makes me feel much more comfortable.
Okay. And again,
Yeah, I would agree. I mean,
I think it might be easier to approve it contingent upon verification of the work being done rather than just taking that line item out, because then they have to give us another one. Or we mark up the invoice to give to finance, make sure they only pay the amount we say, and then do that invoice again with that amount in there. So
I guess
And I think there's a good opportunity if we can find, within 12 hours or 14 hours that the sleeper work on the roof has in fact been done, then, it's easy to go forward.
So if we approve it tonight, let's just say that we approve it contingent on maybe Tyler saying yes or no.
verification, yeah.
Tyler's
Then
description.
we can let Kathy know to process it. Or if it was not done,
She holds on to it.
we can then contact Kathy and say, pull that invoice. It was not approved. Or we are not going to approve it.
Mhm.
Does that sound correct?
So the motion would have to say all that.
right. But that means we're not approving the entire invoice.
We would improve the entire
No,
invoice
we would approve it
contingent
contingent
upon
upon.
verification from
and if
Tyler.
it's not done, the invoice is
And if it's
approved.
not done, the invoice is not
Yeah.
approved.
Yeah, the
I like
entire.
that.
Yeah, yes,
Whole
the
thing.
entire
Right.
invoice.
Because it's incorrect, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
It's 100%.
Okay.
I like that.
And then there's the new invoice from December that, Tom, did you say?
We'll talk about that.
Oh.
Yeah, with the invoices, I think.
Okay.
So I guess, do you want to make a motion to approve this with a contingency? or-
Do we have other things?
No,
we
there's
need to
still-
do?
there's still a lot.
We don't approve
Okay,
invoices
no
yet.
invoices yet.
Okay, go ahead. Anything else, Mark?
No, that's it for now. Everything else that I am aware of, from a physical standpoint is accurate on both applications for payment, and Kohler Ronan has also reviewed the December application for payment, made changes to it, sent it back to Save More. They rectified and corrected their application for payment. So their December application for payment should be 100% accurate. I would refer back to John, but I know John and Craig bled all over that one.
Right. Yeah, the biggest thing on that one was the installation. And what we marked up is what we feel they were completed by at the end of December. One comment back to the November rec. If the roofing is not done, is it possible to pay the rec minus that line item? Is that a possibility? I only bring it up because the last thing I want is Save More to, walk off the job if they're not getting paid.
We could do that, yes.
Right.
So somebody would have to figure out, it's a line item, so what percentage done is it? And then how does that affect the retainage and the bottom line of what is due? That's what has to get figured out.
If
I
the
would like
work
to
is not done,
suggest,
Wait,
sorry, go ahead.
I would like to suggest to the commission that if the work is not done, we do not pay their application for payment at all. And we send it back to them and say, and we found out that they can do this at Tuesday's meeting, tell them to resubmit November's application for payment minus the roofing.
That makes sense.
Right, we've given Save-More every opportunity since the beginning of December.
Exactly.
End of November to
Yeah.
either rectify this or get the work done or resubmit, and they've done none of the above.
Plus, are there issues with the December invoice? Because they would get that one if that's.
no, we said there is.
Possibly.
Cole Roden said that they fine tuned, check that
Yeah,
invoice.
so my point, it is possible that we approve the December one, and there's not a contingency on that one, right? So they would get some sort of payment, right? I mean, it wouldn't be both months.
Well, John, if I could ask you now, I guess, so you guys said you went through it pretty extensively.
This one, right?
I think the number was, does everybody agree that they have 76% of the insulation complete on the ductwork on the exterior?
As of right now,
December though, right?
As of the end of December for the most recent rec.
it's not the ductwork on the roof, it's the ductwork in the whole job. I mean, the insulation in the whole job. So 76% of all the insulation, including all the interior pipe insulation, plus what's done on the roof is about, 76% makes sense.
Okay, so item 210, insulation completed at 76. That includes interior and exterior.
Correct. The
Okay,
remaining 25% is mostly exterior roof insulation that has to get completed.
And they are supposedly been working on that the last couple of days.
They have been. I can't say the exact extent that they completed, but I saw them on the roof yesterday and this morning when I was up there.
Sorry.
Right, and Mark, to me, so we have a problem to verify things. I think it's very important that Jason gets back to you by tomorrow. Is there a supervisor foreman on the job for Save-More? If Joey's not there anymore, if somebody else is there, we have to have somebody there overseeing this work to make sure that, work is being done. And so they can get back to Jason to get back to you. I mean, that's,
Exactly. I agree completely.
Especially if there's an issue where it's not done, right? Who does he go to then?
well, that's what
I'm
I'm
more
saying.
worried about the electrical and the ductwork for the exhaust fans than anything else at this point in time, because that's going to drag out this project another month easily. And that's my biggest concern. Jason seems to have a solid commitment from the owner of the insulation company. That'll be done this week. Then again, Jason's given me lip service in the past. Maybe I'm giving him too much trust, but the reality is I think they know their applications for payment are being held up and they want to get paid. So there's no incentive for them not to provide, to tell the truth and get things done. Like I said, my biggest concern is the electrical for the exhaust fans.
So I think that we, in talking with, whether it's you, Mark, or John, or both of you, talking with Save-More and their electrician, getting going on those change orders, that there's a time frame that we have to be both concerned with and recognizing with getting change orders done. As Jen said, it is reimbursable, but there's a time frame with the paperwork that has to be adhered to in order to get the reimbursement. Correct, Jen?
Yes, that's
So they get going on it, but they can't just do the paperwork in 3 months or something like that. There's a whole process that they've got to
That process, though, how much is that, I don't know, what months, like, do you even have months, weeks?
Well,
I mean,
so there is a time frame. I don't remember, and it might be different from, the school renovations, but it's probably similar. It's around the same. Dr. Carver's saying it's about the same. Geraldine knows all that if you need to ask her about it. But
It's 6 months, I believe.
You're muted, Dr. Carver.
Trying to do two things, of course. Yes, I think, Mark is right. It's 6 months, from the time that you recognize the issue. You have to have the change order completed and signed off.
And we don't want to wait that long.
Mark.
So on the change order that we have with regards to the tracing, we've, obviously the work can be done will likely be done, very quickly. So that we'll be able to, process that paperwork, no problem, within that schedule. It's the upcoming change orders and making sure that the ductwork, if we need ductwork, doesn't take too long. And, that, because my only concern there is making sure that we have a plan, it gets updated, it gets approved by Kohler Ronan, and that it gets processed appropriately and completed. And if we approve a change order in another 2 or 3 weeks, it shouldn't be an issue. I'm just not sure with the state requirements after that. I mean, I assume it'll take them less than 6 months to do the wiring, so we should be fine.
And I think we have to think too about, are they working, after hours? They're not working during the school day. They're working after. They work Saturdays too, or?
It depends on a criticality, but they haven't really done a lot of weekend work as far as I'm aware.
Yeah. But they still have to do that afternoon after school shift.
I guess is tracing the ductwork, is that an additional change order too, though, for them to do that work? Like, they don't have-
No,
They
that's-
gotta find out if it's there or not.
yeah, but wasn't it the scope originally, wasn't it?
I think I heard earlier, John mentioned that Save More was gonna just take a look at it.
Yeah.
It wasn't be part of the change order.
It's gotta
Yeah,
be,
they've mentioned no change order work for that as of yet. So,
but they have to make sure it's there, because if it's not there,
Well, that's, I mean, just seeing if it's there, they're gonna charge for that, right?
If it's not there, then we're gonna ask John Moncelli and the folks from Kohler Ronan to go out and field verify and then come up with a design for it. That's what I would recommend. I wouldn't just leave it to Save More.
Yeah, it's regular.
Mark, have you seen any of the tickets yet for the tracing work?
No, I haven't seen any tickets yet for that. And we discussed it in the OAC meeting that, because Jason kind of said, oh, well, they're pretty much used up on that already, that value. And I said, well, don't forget, Jason, that's a time and materials change order. You need to provide us with all the backup on that. The men that worked on it, the workmen that perform that service, what level they're at and what their rates are. So,
and it's a not to exceed amount, so they're not getting.
Right.
more than that.
exactly.
And is there anyone on site that is signing off on that? Is there a custodian? Is there someone that on the second shift that signs that ticket? That's not Mazzotti?
Probably not.
I hate to say this, but it was my assumption that Joey was doing that role.
And I think it's not the job of Tyler or the staff.
No,
Yes. They're doing their job, right? They're doing
Yes,
the time this
yes.
morning.
Yeah.
no, it should be their on-site super should be doing that. Should be
Yeah.
signing off on that.
If there is one.
Okay, I'd say follow up and let's get those tickets in review as soon as possible.
Sure. Of course.
I have one other question. I think it came up at the last meeting or the OAC meeting. These electrical sensors on the ductwork on the roof. I guess they were originally ordered wrong and they weren't installed in our last meeting. Any information on those? John, Tyler?
I'm not familiar with what you're with that claim. When I was out there on site, there was duct smoke detectors that were not installed yet.
I think
Uh,
that is, yeah, because they have to insulate around those.
Yep. That's what they were talking. Yeah. Now, that was 1 or 2 OECs ago. Yeah, I told Jason which details on the drawing for the insulation around it. If that's what you're talking about, it's the duct smokes. They were not on the last time I was out there a couple weeks ago. They were not installed yet, and we marked that up in the December pay rec. The next time I'm out there, I'll check. Tyler, if you happen to be out there, you can check as well. There should be a duct smoke on the supply and the return right off the DOAS units.
Yeah, I'll try to take a look tomorrow. I don't know if they were installed, but it was my understanding that the electrician, the lead Mazzati tech electrician, was supposed to be meeting with the duct insulators yesterday afternoon, presumably for those, but I don't know the specifics.
And we still have commissioning to do also. If anything was not installed fire alarm wise and shut off, that's a safety shut off. And if it is installed and not operating right or not wired right, that should all come up in commissioning if there is issues.
Yeah, the only reason I have is I didn't know where that falls under these items, because I see they build electrical at 100%. So I didn't know if that was part of electrical or another component.
I had it built in the I had the value captured in another line item, rooftop unit accessories. It's coming to mind. We knocked them down on that because of the lack of the duct smoke installation.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions, regarding the project? So Mark, you're gonna go back to us about, I mean, if there's this foreman, supervisor, whatever, Joey or some other guy, especially at night, we were also gonna check about if the roof work was completed today and the installation of the ducts by Friday, correct? So at the meeting on Tuesday, call, we should have all that information.
We should.
Yep.
Okay.
So is that
I
all
will
that?
try to get down there on Friday and look. I feel bad putting the onus on Tyler and his guys to double check everything, but I will work with Tyler and see if I need to come down on Friday and take some pictures, but I would like to see for myself to make sure that everything is done that's supposed to be.
So is that all that's left in addition to the wiring and the possible duct not being there? Is that all that's left of the project, and obviously testing and calibrating, whatever?
In terms of probably physical installation, yeah, the installation, including some open end and pipe inside the building that wasn't insulated yet, the rooftop insulation, the fire alarm integration with the duct smoke detector. There's some condensate piping on the roof, which is a very small amount that has to get completed. We commented on that in the December pay rec. That should be it. And the rest after that would be testing, commissioning, getting the units up and running and started.
So is there a point, John, at which you would go over there and walk through and do any sort of a punch list?
Absolutely. So the goal right now was for them to complete the installation, at which point is the correct time for me to go out there and do my punch list.
John, can you do a punch list if this fan and duct and electrical situation starts to drag out? Can you do a punch list on the rest of the scopes?
Yes. Yeah. The 10 exhaust fans, in my mind, I have no problem treating that as a separate exercise. The main focus, I can get the punch list done for the DOAS equipment, the heating and cooling equipment, the VRF, the radiation, so that, everything that's providing ventilation, heating and cooling for the students in the building. I can put my focus on that once I have that ductwork insulation done.
Okay, and you guys, you've already billed 100% of your contract. Do you foresee, short of the ductwork and the tracing of the wires, are you guys in good shape, or do you think you're gonna have to bill some more?
Well, we contractually we owe the punch list, so that there's no issue there. Depending on how the fan discovery process here plays out, like Mark said, if we want to get involved with designing new routing for exhaust fans that were never hooked up, that would be an ad service on our end for additional design work. Yeah, we are billed 100% right now. I'm trying to keep field time somewhat limited. I don't have any issue going out there to spot check things and get things done in a pinch. I'm 10 minutes away. If things really drag out where we have to put days and days of time into it on our end, then we would have that discussion about an ad service. At this point, I don't see it necessary. Let's see how the ductwork item plays out with the exhaust fans, and we take it from there.
Right,
Yeah,
because your amount that you billed every month was just basically the total amount divided by however many months we were thinking.
Yeah, they were supposed to be done a couple months ago. So
Right, and so there wasn't any backup with any of that saying, from one month to the next, did you do that much work with the billing that we got? Or was it one month was more, the other month was less? So we don't have that backup.
we did our site visits and our site visit reports. We've attended the weekly meetings every week. And we still continue to, which is again is fine.
Nice.
We're not here to nickel and dime over an hour meeting.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep providing support in that sense. If it goes above and beyond into engineering design work, substantial field work, then yes, it would be an ad service.
Okay,
right, that's understood.
Okay, any other comments or, all right, so Mark, you're gonna get back to us on a number of things and, so I guess we're into the invoice approval.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
All right, let's start with the November Save More rec. So I make a motion to approve Save More application for payment invoice number 18259 dated 11/20/2025 for $161,310 contingent on the roof work being done and verified in the field by Tyler or one of his custodians in the next 12 hours.
Or by tomorrow morning, so.
Or,
sometime.
yeah,
not by tomorrow morning.
Well,
Yeah,
It would
don't
be
put the pressure.
by the end of the-
by the end of the week.
by the end of this week, by Friday, January 16th.
Right,
Thank you.
Verified in the field by Tyler or one of his custodians by, what did you say, January?
Friday.
Friday,
January
January 16th, yeah.
okay,
Second.
Second, okay.
all in favor?
Well, we've discussed it pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
And this is what we pretty much agreed that we would contingent upon rather than taking the amount out, so.
Okay, so
Good.
all in favor?
I,
All opposed?
Okay.
Okay, motion passes.
So hang on, so Kathy, I will approve it, but maybe hold that. It won't be paid tomorrow probably, but we'll have to wait till Friday.
Or whenever Tyler, is he going
Yes.
to Roger, or is that the way that works? How are you gonna find out the leak that the Kathy is Tyler contacting
so I would,
Kathy? Or-
you can email Tyler and make sure he has your email and
Right.
CC Kathy, and, I think that as soon as Tyler knows, he'll get back to you, let you know. And do they still run checks on Thursdays?
They run checks on Thursdays. That's obviously tomorrow.
Right.
I'm actually out Friday, so chances are if you get back to me,
So-
I'll send it up on Tuesday because we're off on Monday.
Right,
And it'll get in for the check.
for next week, yeah.
I guess the only thing would be, when does the check run? I mean, Tyler might know by,
Next Thursday.
no, like tomorrow though,
There's one tomorrow, but then you have to have it up. in the
like today or
morning.
something. Okay, I'm just
Yeah,
saying, he might know by like
yeah.
10 or 5.
Next Thursday.
So it'll be next Thursday.
But usually, because of timing of our meetings, we don't always get the invoices up to finance on Thursday.
Yeah.
Because they have to be attached, the minutes have to be attached to them.
Okay,
Sometimes we do get it done, sometimes we don't.
okay.
And so just to confirm, Tyler, you'll contact Roger by email or phone just to let him know what you find?
Correct.
Okay.
Thank
Great,
you.
thank you, Tyler.
Yeah, thanks. All right, so I'll go to Save More's December rec. So I make a motion to approve Save More in rec for payment invoice number 18341 dated 12/20/2025 for $293,645.
Second,
Okay, we have a second. Anybody want to discuss this
I think
besides?
we got all the information.
Yep.
So
Right.
they did
And
have to
John-
send it back. John had them mark it up and change it.
Yep.
It
Should
should be good,
responded to
right?
your questions as well.
Yeah, based on what John said, I think
You're good.
I'm happy with it. Yep. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Motion passes. Okay, I make a motion to approve SES invoice number 5664 dated 12/17/2025 for $2,250.
Second,
Okay, we have a second. All, any discussion? SES? All in favor?
aye.
Okay, ayes approved.
And I think they're maybe about halfway through their, maybe 45%, I think it was. So they still have a bunch to do because they have their main
Right.
report that they have to issue once they do all the commissioning.
And they have to actually come back like in March, right? When there's a heat load. and-
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, STV, or sorry, I make a motion to approve STV invoice number 705 dated December 19th, 2025 for $3,829.
Second,
Second, okay, any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Okay, ayes have it. Motion passes.
Should be all of them, right?
And that's all of them. Okay,
Woo-hoo.
all right, thank you.
So anything else about school stuff, school HVAC that we need to know, or we're all good for now? Everybody's got work they have to do.
Right, and Mark's gonna get back to us with the information and Tyler on,
Yeah, is that?
Friday.
Right.
okay, so the next issue is the BHS roof project. I think we left it the last time. We were working on contracts, right, for the assessment of the roofs. Is that right, Jennifer, if I recall?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Right, so now we're on to the BHS roof project. So, I think you were working on, coming up with contracts. A contract.
Yeah, so the contract has been fully executed and Tyler and I met with the representative from Silver Petrocelli this morning. So they're going to start kicking off their work to analyze the roof at the high school and start considering some different options in terms of what they would recommend for replacing the roof. It'll take several weeks before they are able to have something preliminary for us to look at.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Is the contract loaded into any of the share drives?
I did not load it, so I'm guessing that that has not happened yet, but we'll make sure it gets loaded.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
And then once there's a report, will they come to a meeting and present it to us, or how will that happen? Do we know?
Well, we haven't defined that part of the process yet, so we could ask them to come to a meeting. Or we could, if you guys want to do a subcommittee, we could do something during the day. I mean, we haven't defined how that will work yet.
So we'll figure that out. Okay.
Is there any concern, doing an assessment or starting an assessment before this HVAC project is finished? Or does that have no impact?
I don't think that has an impact. I honestly think the weather would have a bigger impact on their ability to get up on the roof and look at it. So as long as there's no snow up there, I think they can get a good look.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, so that's it for the roof project.
Yep.
I think.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Thank you, Jennifer and Tyler.
Thank you all.
Thanks.
Thank you, John. Take care.
See you soon.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Okay. I thought, John Matz and or Eric was gonna be here. Did you know,
I
I'm not, what are you in a spot?
No,
To talk to us about the animal shelter and the,
yeah, I
Okay.
I was with them most of today, but they didn't mention attending tonight. So but John Max also has he's leaving to go to another position. So he will not be his last day is the 23rd. So
Damn.
okay.
So
Is there someone replacing?
not as of yet.
Okay.
If you have any good candidates, please let me
Okay.
know.
Kathy will try to hire one of us.
It's like basically a project.
Project.
So for
Okay.
the time being, I assume Eric will have to fill in and give us up to date.
Eric and Kathy.
And Kathy.
Yeah. And I don't have, in talking with John, I don't have any update really on the animal shelter. Other than we did do some work to the shelter to pass inspections, hopefully. We basically replaced the Sally Port roof. And we asked the contractor to also go and patch the flat roof. So they did that. They waited a few days through storms and stuff to see if anything leaked. Nothing leaked. The same contractor came back and kind of fixed up the insulation inside that had gotten wet and kind of fall a little bit onto the kennel. So he tacked all that up so it's back in place and cured all that. So hopefully they'll be good for if there's an inspection. And then if the next one is the highway roof, the only thing I know about that is that they did come out last week and we had a scissor-less develop them, so they went to look at everything. So that was completed.
So what's the lift got there so they
The
could,
lift got the lift
Yes.
got there and then used it. They were there for a day and they did all the inspections that they needed to do.
Okay.
As far as I know, they got everything done that they needed.
So good.
maybe next meeting or even in a month, we'll have a report, hopefully. If we're
Right.
Yeah.
So did they do one day or do you know if they
As
were?
far as I know, they only did the one day. They wanted to
Thursday.
make sure it was.
Oh, you were-
I was
Yeah.
there.
Oh,
Yeah,
did
no,
you go?
so I was there
Okay.
and met with the engineer for the steel, if I recall, and shortly the roof assessment contractor was going to be there. The lift was there. We just happened to talk about some safety thing, inspection of the man lifts and blah, blah, blah. And I sent Eric and John some inspection sheets to make sure everything is checked in. But that was a side issue. And they started right away with looking at the steel and the trusses and everything. So, so they're working on it, which is great.
Yeah.
And if I recall though, for the animal shelter the last time when John was on, Matt's, we were going to send out they were going to work on a proposal to take a look at potentially 3 sites within the town that the town owns. And the best one right now is the one in the Francis Park facility. There's a lot there next to the dog training facility, but
Corner lot.
yeah,
Yeah, it goes
But-
around.
yeah, but that was coming and they were gonna maybe
Yeah,
come up with
I
something.
think he has worked on something with that. I do have
Right.
an email from him. So I just think it's a matter.
Well, we're thinking to look at the existing location to make sure that possibly, not make sure, but we can see if we can put it there, like.
Right, 'cause I think-
that was one of the locations.
Okay,
yeah.
That one and
It's gonna be presented, sorry, as sort of a progression of priority, like
right,
Okay, yeah.
existing Clark and then
Yeah.
Caulfield.
Right.
I think like having we were talking about having a civil engineer type person do a review, like we would have to hire somebody, obviously,
Yeah,
raise some money, so we would have to come up with how much it's gonna cost.
Right.
And then go ask for money and see, you know, if they could give us a review of at least the 2 or maybe even 3 places.
Propose 3 and then work in sequence. And if the first one is a great location, then you don't have to do the other 2.
Right.
A, B,
Yeah.
C, go down that way.
Right, so in that way,
A
Well,
works
do
out,
all
you're
3.
Right there, yeah.
if
Yeah,
the first one is
yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
your
yeah.
spot, then don't have to work on the other 2.
I guess unless the town wanted to do civil engineering on those other properties for future use.
Other, yeah, right.
I doubt that.
I got the list.
Yeah.
Fine, we think ahead.
Okay, and then the last issue is the Muni Center renovations, and we still don't have any direction. So at the January 6th Board of Selectmen meeting, I was there with Nancy, and we just gave a review of all the projects going on.
We did that in December. didn't we?
No,
Oh,
that
we did it in
was,
January?
yeah, we did that a week and a half or so ago, well, a week or so. And, because they wanted to wait, remember, for the new
Yeah.
selectmen to come on
Right.
board and all that. And so we were one of the first ones on the docket. We went over all of these issues that we just talked about today, the projects I meant to say. And, yeah, that one, yeah, December. Oh,
Okay.
No, we did.
All right.
We were gonna do that.
Yeah.
And I think I changed it. So, so my point is this. We spoke to them about the Muni Center renovation. They don't have any direction. We talked about that. It's a shelter and blah, blah, blah. But they know that we have some basic proposal for some new plans or something. And they did, and they just kind of said, yeah, right. Yeah, we're gonna work on it. So we don't have any direction. All right, so once again, I want to,
I have one other question.
oh, no, go ahead.
And I didn't want to bring it up in the HVAC project because, I didn't want to be speculative and waste everybody's time, but, what if these fans don't have ductwork and it's $175,000?
Right, you got the Board of Finance, right?
Well, no, because, so we have a finite amount that was approved at referendum for this project. We can't go over that. And if we use up most of what's in contingency, but if we're gonna have to go over that, we have to figure something else out.
Yeah, I would argue, where's the money from 2010 when it was probably paid for and it wasn't done, right?
So
I don't know if it was paid for and not done. It may just not have been. There were a lot of things that seemed to keep coming up during conversations with Dr. Carver being present that may have been cut out of the project because of not enough
Okay,
money,
yeah, so we have this, yeah, they ran out of money or something.
something, or who knows? It's
But
difficult.
it's interesting.
We
'cause they-
weren't a part of it.
Yeah, they
So-
said it's like a safety, right? It's just, you know, it's like requirements and legality and like,
Yeah,
it
so
has to be
If
functioning.
it's not a
Doesn't
life
work.
safety issue, they probably weren't looking at it or for it.
But I thought you said it kind of was, like it has to be,
Well,
it has
state code,
the
yeah.
state code,
Well,
right? So it's not,
Yeah.
how did it pass the inspection if it didn't work?
Right. Code, and who, maybe it was working and now it's not. I really don't know.
Yeah, you're right.
It
So you
looks
know,
like
where's the ductwork, where's the, like,
Yeah.
it's just speculating.
And then oversight, was there like an owner's rep like we have now? Was there one back then?
Probably not.
Probably not, so,
It was an
No.
ad hoc committee and it was not assigned to the Public Site and Building Commission. There was one ad hoc committee, they got fired, they put up another one.
That would have been Selectman Burke, right? That was during his tenure, right? Yeah.
okay.
You just want to see what happens, right?
Yeah, well, and it's hard to, let's not speculate until we get the information.
Okay.
You're right. You only have so much, right? So that you
Right.
have to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Selectmen, Board of Finance, here's the issue, right?
Yeah.
And I would argue, is it even the scope of this project, right? Because then the assumption was this worked and this was connected, right? So now it's
Right.
like,
Yeah, but
So
we
I
put in
think,
10 new
yeah,
And
fans.
it's brand
We
new
put in
fans.
10 new fans
Yeah.
that now need to work.
well, 6 didn't work already, right?
Yeah, but we put
I'm
in
just
10 new
kidding.
ones.
Yeah.
So if some of them were replacing the ones that were there and the assumption was the ones that were there worked and they didn't, it's like how much, and thinking about, because this is part of that whole big picture that Kohler Ronan put together for the whole school, there were so many things that were not done in 2009, 2010, with the HVAC, especially in the middle of the building, air conditioning, all that. That's why we're going through this whole thing now, and why the Board of Education hired Kohler Ronan to do this whole school assessment. And then it's been broken into phases, and we're kind of phase 3 maybe with this, the grants and all that. And there's probably a couple more phases that have to be done, because there was no way to do it all at once, money wise and time wise. How can you fit out the whole school's HVAC system while school's running and like that? So it kind of has to be done in pieces. So some of the work that was probably should have been done in 2010 wasn't, but I don't know if it was initially supposed to be part of the project. And in Kohler Ronan doing their assessment, I mean, they did, how much time could they spend checking every single thing?
They found
Yeah.
that 10 fans weren't working.
Yeah.
We added 10 new fans. The reason for them not working was never,
Right.
it's not like they said, oh, the motors are bad or this is bad. It's just, they don't work. So
Yeah,
we knew going in that we had to replace 10 fans.
Yes,
Right.
we are right.
But I mean, I assume theoretically, if this was some other project that ran over budget, it would have to get finished, because there would be, you wouldn't be reimbursed for the change order, the $120,000.
so I think the reimbursement would happen, but not sure. If we had to go, let's say, the process would be, this is how much it's gonna cost. We're this much over, go to the Board of Selectmen, and they say, oh, now we're gonna, yeah, okay, fine. Go to the Board of Finance, they might say, yeah, okay, fine. But I don't know if that part would be able to be reimbursed. You'd have to make sure we get in with any change order that's given to us, the date has to be dealt with within 6 months. Basically, the change, if the work is done and the change order hasn't been submitted, then it has to go through the state and all that. There's a time frame that I was talking about earlier. They said 6 months.
There's also a monetary value that would have to go out to bid, over $10,000.
Right. Then we
So-
have to take
so-
that into consideration too.
So yeah, let's
Let's
be
see how this all
optimistic,
works out. Yeah.
but this could turn into a total
Yeah.
circus.
Right. So I think it just reinforces that, I can't believe that fans have not worked for 15 years and nobody said anything, and.
Oh, I can believe
Well,
it.
No, I can believe that. I'm just saying,
Yeah, and I
it's
can imagine
unbelievable.
somebody might have.
Yeah.
And then they were like, yeah, that's on the list.
Yeah.
Well, I
You know.
just,
So it's,
for me, I
it's
can't
pushing the
believe,
can down the road.
Well,
I can't believe we stuck brand new $110,000 fans on.
I know.
My thing is they had to connect them to something. I got they just didn't poke those to the wall. There's gotta be duct work on that end.
Right.
Yes.
Now, where does that duct work go?
Right, yes.
Right.
Yep.
Who knows?
I'm just
So it's not, the duct work end of it is probably just connecting it or extending it out to where it needs to go. It's not going from the unit out to
The whole way.
the
right.
exhaust.
Is it in a ceiling
So
somewhere?
they changed the fans in the bathrooms too? Exhaust
So
fans?
they're rooftop.
The rooftop.
No, no, but they were putting units inside the rooms too, though, weren't they putting
Those are
Those are
heat.
yeah.
No, the
That's heating
VRF
and cooling.
boxes?
Like, are those in the bathroom too? Like,
No,
No.
so
It's
there's
just
a
exhaust
fan on,
into the
there's a
bathroom.
fan on the roof that exhausts.
Yeah.
There's duct work.
Right.
And whether or not that goes to a bathroom, a closet,
My only thought was if they were putting this AC and heat in the bathroom, did they notice I would hope they didn't notice.
has nothing to do with the AC or heat.
So there's
Just strictly
that-
ventilation.
Probably looks like,
Strictly-
it probably looks like
Yeah,
something like
so
that.
strictly ventilation in the bathroom, they don't have any of
Yeah.
that heat.
Right. All right, so my point is, it's very important that either on some of these bigger projects, maybe the roof project, we have some type of an owner's rep or somebody that's day-to-day kind of looking at it, and that's responsible. But I think when the bidding comes, the contracts, when we interview, we tell them that things have to be confirmed. And, however, do we have a penalty if they don't do it? I think Tyler said, or Jennifer said, that was brought up, but nobody would have bid, and Sagemore said, no, we're not gonna do that. Otherwise, we're not gonna bid. So that's the other side of that. But we have to really take a look at invoices, what was done, what's not, and not pay them. But I think we have to be right up front with them. And say, we're gonna look at that. things have to be confirmed, otherwise, nada.
Well, Dave Olson said at the last meeting that, if we're effectively responsible for managing these projects that are being given to us, and we're right now, we have no input on that contract that just got signed. So whether they did the same thing,
Yeah.
most likely not, like took out all that important language,
Yeah,
and then we're left with having to manage that. I think it's gonna be difficult.
well, it's the interesting thing with the concept of a owner's rep or owner's project manager. That in previous projects, there might have been like a clerk of the works or something, but anything I know of that I was part of, it wasn't until we did this Rockwell and Johnson renovations that we pushed to have an owner's rep. And put a chunk of money, added some money in before we went to referendum, making the amount higher. And it saved us a lot of money. Because the owner's reps keeping an eye on everything they're supposed to. You have to make sure that they're, that's part of what you ask them to do, put it in the RFP. And they make sure that like the applications for payments are correct. Somebody submits a change order and it's in scope, we don't approve it.
Yes.
They would advise us to things like that. So having that, it's obviously adds to the cost of the project, but over time always saves money, in my opinion, and what I've seen too.
Yeah, otherwise somebody here is gonna have to do it, right? Kind of.
Who's, it's like
Who
great
has
that
the
you've
time?
been able to go to the OAC meetings. I used to dial into the school project ones, and I just put my earbuds in and work and listen to what's going on, ask questions. And that was STV again. Geraldine was the one she would put minutes out and just make sure everything was doing what people who, because it was such a large project, but some of the subcontractors who had to be at a meeting, they were required to be at a meeting because they were supposed to do X. They had to be there and answer questions from the architect and the construction manager were there too. And sometimes, then you hash all that out. We shouldn't have to hash all that out at our meetings. It should be done at that level and then brought to us as an update or if there's a decision or things like that.
Okay, so, thanks, everybody. We want to welcome Chris. Thank you very much. So you got a gist of what you signed on for, and if you want to quit, leave that. That's it. That's it.
No kidding now.
No, we welcome you, and we hope that from your knowledge and skills, and don't be afraid to ask questions, and that's what it's all about, as you see. So, on that.
Yeah, I'll just add, Roger and I are still, we're not even a year into this, so I'm still asking a whole bunch of questions.
Right.
There's a lot I don't know, so if anything,
Yeah. So all this,
When in doubt, shut it.
Actually, all of us are new.
Oh, yeah, Jeff,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just
Yeah,
know
Dave,
that-
I'm new.
they're all,
Yeah.
so
So
the things that we reviewed tonight, that all gets sent out in advance, so you have a chance to look at it. We don't have to,
As long as my
we
email's
can sometimes do screenshots if we need to, but,
I'm trying to get.
then you can check it out in advance. Any questions you can ask them, et cetera.
So Kathy, when she sends out the meeting announcement, you should say yes or no. You have to scroll down and it says yes or no, that I'm gonna go or something. Don't forget, you don't have to go here. You can also attend virtually, just like those guys. I mean, if you're away or whatever it is. And then Kathy will send out the agenda and then the supporting documents, the invoices, the schedules, or whatever. So that you can take a look several days ahead.
I don't know if you've attended any town meetings virtually, but I find that the conversation and the feed is not the greatest. It's
Right.
I think nicer to come in person, but
It
if
is.
you can't make it, you can't make it.
Yeah, you can't make it. You're right, yeah. Okay, with that being said, I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, take care. Thank you.
so. We'll stop it.
8:19.
Oh,